Alright, so today we have a video about reverse 1999, specifically talking about how to reroll your account. I will be showing you the different methods that you can use, including the best and most efficient method, and I will also give you some advice and recommendations on which characters to pull for if you are focusing on meta and character strength. So first up, let's talk about how to reroll when you are using your mobile device. So using your mobile phone to reroll is actually pretty hard. And the reason for this is that clearing the application's cache actually doesn't reset the guest account. So what happens is that when you first open up the game and then you enter the game using a guest account, you don't find anything. But then if you end up not being satisfied with what you got, even if you clear the application cache in the settings, and even if you reinstall the game, it's actually not going to reset the guest account. But the good thing is that there's actually one method that you can use to work around this problem. And that method is the salt method. And what that basically means is that you have to make multiple email accounts that you're then going to use to log in every time you want to reroll. So if you don't have access to any other device aside from your phone, then this is a method that I recommend using so that you can reroll efficiently. Although I'm not going to go over how to make multiple email accounts because that is very simple and pretty self-explanatory, I would say. And the good thing is that when you make multiple Google accounts, it actually doesn't ask you for a phone number every time. So you can essentially make as many email accounts as you need. But if you have access to a laptop or PC, using an emulator is going to be the best way to reroll on reverse 1999. This video is sponsored by BlueStacks, but I'm not only recommending BlueStacks because I'm sponsored, but also because a lot of people who are playing reverse 1999 actually vouch for BlueStacks for rerolling your accounts. So if you're looking for the best application/emulator to reroll accounts on PC, then BlueStacks is going to be your best option. I will have a link in the description below and maybe as well as in the pinned comments. So make sure to use that link because not only will it download BlueStacks, but it will also download reverse 1999. So you're pretty much good to go when you click that link in the description below. And it also helps out the channel, so it's a win-win for everyone. So for this next part, I'm gonna show you how to set up your BlueStacks so that you can start rerolling on reverse 1999. So once you finish installing BlueStacks, the first thing you would want to do is to go to the multi-instance manager. And to do that, you simply have to click this icon right here. And then you can see this menu, which is the multi-instance manager. And this is basically where you manage and set up your instances. So on a fresh install of BlueStacks, the first thing you would want to do is to go here on instance. And then you would want to create a fresh instance that has the Pi 64-bit because this will give you the best performance for when you're playing reverse 1999. So just click this drop down right here, select Pi 64. Next, and then here is where you can set up your instance depending on the quality of your PC. So if you have a mid-range to a high-end PC, you can probably set this to 4 cores or maybe even 6 if it allows you. And then for the memory, you can set this to 4, maybe even 8. And for the resolution, I recommend putting this to something very low because you're still rerolling and you wouldn't really want this to be very taxing on your PC. So for now, you can put this at 1280 by 720 and then you can just change this later on once you actually get your account. And then for this one, you can set this to high performance so that you can get the best experience possible. But you do have to keep in mind that this settings is only applicable if you're only running one instance at a time. Because you can actually run multiple instances if you want to do so. But if you choose to do that, then I recommend putting the settings on a very low preset. So instead of 4 cores, maybe put it to 1, maybe 2, depending on your PC. And for the memory, put this to 2. Maybe even 4, depending on how much RAM your PC has. As for the resolution, you probably have to put this at 540 because multiple instances, especially if you're running like 4, 5, maybe even more, it's going to be very taxing on your PC, so you want to put this on a very low resolution. And then instead of this, high performance, put this on low memory. And then you basically just have to press create. I already have mine, which I made after I installed BlueStacks, so I don't have to create the other instance. So after you create that instance, all you have to do is close the current instance that you have right now. So what you're going to do is to stop the instance right here, close, and then you have to run the new instance that you just created. And after you start the new instance, you can essentially just delete the old one because you're never using that again. So after you run the instance that we just created, the next thing we're going to do is to download reverse 1999 if you still don't have it already. So all you have to do is to go here on this search tab, type in reverse 1999 and then press enter. And so over here, it says that I already installed the game. So pretty much just click that and install the game. And during the first time you open up the game, it's actually going to ask you to download a bunch of stuff. But the only thing you have to download is the update for the game. For now, since you are still re-rolling, you can pretty much skip the voice line downloads because that is going to take a very long time if you do that every single time you re-roll. So for the next step, we're going to skip to the part where you are done installing everything for the game. Alright, so once you have everything installed, it's going to lead you to this menu, but the most important thing is that you don't actually log in with any of these accounts, even the guest account. Because if you log in using the guest or any of these accounts, the game is going to bind you to a specific account. So it's going to be like the situation with the phone where you can't actually reroll as efficiently because you're stuck with the same UID. So once you get to this point, you know that the game is working. What you have to do is to close the game, boom. Close everything, and then create a clone of that instance that you just made. So how you can do that is by clicking this icon right here to go to the multi-instance manager. And then before you can clone the instance, you actually have to stop it. So stop, close, and then once that instance is closed, you can go here, instance, clone instance, and it will basically copy all of the presets for that instance that you just made. And if you already have BlueStacks and maybe you have been using it for other games, make sure that this instance name matches with the one where reverse 1999 is. So for me, BlueStacks app player 1 is where reverse 1999 is, so click that. And then next up, you have to set up your settings or preset however you want, depending on the quality of your PC. But for me, I'm going to leave this like this because I'm only running one instance. But maybe I'll put this at high performance. And then after that, just press create. Boom. Cloning the instance does take a while depending on your device. So I'm gonna be back once the cloning is finished. Alright, so the new instance just finished cloning, and right here it says BlueStacks App Player 3 because in the past I already cloned the same instance, so this is clone number 3. So once that is done, make sure to rename this. And so this is the original instance that we made after installing BlueStacks. Now this is the clone for the instance that you made. So basically what happens is that the new instance is being considered as a new device. So unlike re-rolling on mobile devices, where you are pretty much stuck with the same guest account, when you are creating instances in BlueStacks, you are essentially getting a new device for free, if that makes sense. So now that you have this, all you have to do is start. You can start progressing to the game and get your pulls. And speaking of, that is what we are going to talk about in this next section. So essentially what you're going to do is you obviously want to skip everything in the game because you don't want to sit there and watch every single cutscene when you're trying to re-roll as many accounts as you like. There are some cutscenes that are unskippable, but there's also a lot of dialogue that you can just pretty much skip. The first thing you would want to do once you get into the game and you're doing the combat and stuff, your first objective is to finish 1-4, or basically stage 1 level 4, because after you complete that, you are going to be able to access the mailbox, which will have the pre-registration rewards, which will give you a ton of premium currency that will be more than enough for 10 pulls. I don't currently have it right now, so we're gonna hop onto the game and I'll show you how it looks like. So right now I'm using the official PC client for Reverse 1999 because this is where my account actually is. So when you go here, I actually have some mail. Boom, you can claim this. That's enough for 1 pull, I believe. And then this is what I'm talking about. So once you finish chapter 1 stage 4, you're going to be able to claim all of these. And not only that, there will actually be some more rewards like this one from the Twitter event and an official launch gift, which will be later down the road after you finish a couple more levels, but it's actually 10 pulls, which is really nice. So once you get the rewards from your mail, what you can do is you can spend it on these banners, and there is supposed to be another banner, like a beginner banner, which guarantees a 6-star character after 30 pulls. But the 6-star characters that you're getting are only limited to the 3. So those characters are Regulus, Eternity, and Lilia. Both Regulus and Eternity are actually really good, with Eternity being slightly better, especially early game, and Lilia is also good, but she does need a ton of investment to make her work because she is mainly focused on getting crits and stuff, so it's really hard to make her work, especially at the beginning of the game. So for most players who are concerned about character strength, their two most likely options are going to be Regulus and Eternity. For me, I went for Eternity not only because I think she's slightly better, and also I like this character's design, so I went for her. But instead of the beginner banner, you can also choose to spend your wishes on the other banners available. Because just like what I mentioned before, you can only get Regulus, Eternity, and Lilia on the beginner banner. But if let's say you want these characters right here, and you don't get them on the first 10 pull that you do, or maybe 20 pulls, you can still get a couple more currencies just by progressing a little bit more and by leveling up your account. So to level your account very fast, all you have to do is to go here in the enter show and then click resource at the bottom. So this is basically where you can level up very fast, because at the beginning, you're gonna be getting a ton of energy, and as you can see, I'm actually overcapped because of how much energy I'm getting. So what you have to do is basically just run this as many times as you can, because that will guarantee you to level up. So that is pretty much everything you need to know about rerolling accounts in Reverse 1999. One thing I do want to say is that you don't have to stress about rerolling in this game, because a lot of the characters are actually viable, and this game is not really meta based to say the least, because Reverse 1999 is more focused on storytelling and the world building in this game. With that being said, if you have any more questions, feel free to put it down in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.